Let's cross to our correspondent in Brussels, Dave Keating. Dave, what exactly is the message from the EU to Elon Musk?
Well, the message came from Thierry Breton, who is the internal market commissioner, originally from France. He replied to a tweet that Elon Musk put out saying, "The bird is freed." And he said, in Europe, the bird will play by EU rules. And he notably added the hashtag DSA. That's the Digital Services Act. That's a relatively new piece of EU legislation, which has cracked down on internet companies. Specifically, it requires that digital platforms like Twitter take down hate speech, fake news. Basically, it shoots out of the water the argument that the social media companies have been making for some time, saying that they're not responsible for the content that's put on the platforms by their users. The EU now says, no, that's not the case. You are responsible. And so the concern here is that Musk intends to walk back all of the efforts Twitter has made over the past years working with the EU in order to take down that content. And in particular, there's concern that he's going to invite Donald Trump back on the platform, who was, of course, kicked off for spreading fake news about the 2020 election. So this is going to be a big battle. Commissioner Breton followed up that tweet with a video from when he met with Musk a while ago, when he says in the video, "I explained to Elon Musk what the Digital Services Act is, and Elon Musk said, 'I agree with everything you said.'" Now, whether Musk really understood what the DSA is open to question, but Breton pointed to that video and said, look, Musk has basically committed to abiding by these EU rules.
Well, Dave, this comes in the context of the EU cracking down on a number of tech companies, including Uber, doesn't it?
Indeed. So the general mood music in Brussels now is there's an increasing appetite to go after these American-based tech companies. I think the feeling is that they've been given a pretty easy ride by Washington, and it's up to the EU to kind of step in. And that's why we've had all of these recent pieces of legislation on artificial intelligence, on the DSA, on big data, trying to rein that in. And recently we've had the so-called Uber files. This is leaks from a former Uber lobbyist named Mark McGann, who came out with information that basically suggested Uber has a very, very strong lobbying presence in Brussels and Washington, and has been able to get away, allegedly, with kind of not treating their drivers very well because they had regulators wrapped around their finger. So McGann testified in the European Parliament at a hearing on Tuesday, and you could tell there that the mood among members of the European Parliament was first a real appetite to go after and crack down on whether or not these drivers are actually employees of Uber, but also you could sense a general willingness, a general appetite to go after tech companies who, again, the feeling is that they've gotten away with a lot. So I think, both with Uber and with Twitter, the message is that you may have been able to get away with a lot up till now, but the EU is closely watching you now.
Yeah, I think everyone is closely watching. Okay, our correspondent in Brussels, Dave Keating. Dave, thanks as always.